Good afternoon and welcome to Crozier Health Facebook Live. We are coming to you today from our Springfield Hospital campus, and we are excited to be joined by registered dietitian Sarah Chesky. Today she's going to talk to us about back to school and back to work, what to bring for healthy lunches and snacks. Sarah?
All right, thank you. So yes, today we're going to talk about back to school and back to lunch, or back to school and back to work, lunch and snack options. A lot of us have been out of office or out of school for the last year or two, so we really want to think about how to kind of get back on that healthy eating bandwagon, right? So first I want to talk about the plate method and how we want to set up our lunches and snacks when we're planning for them, right? So this is the plate. This is from the USDA, and if anyone remembers the food pyramid, it's turned now into a plate, so it's really visual for us. Half the plate, you really want to make fruits and vegetables, okay? So filling up with a lot of nutrients fills your body, keeps you energized, keeps your mind sharp throughout the day. It also fills your stomach with a lot of volume and a lot less calories. The key is to eat the rainbow. So I always try to make all of our meal and snack options really colorful. That's really helpful for kids because it engages them and makes them interested in the food that they're eating. And then it also gives us a variety of nutrients, like I was saying. So we want to talk about nutrient-dense foods. Your lunches and snacks should be made up of nutrient-dense foods. And by that, I mean foods that are low in saturated fat, low in sodium, and low in added sugars. And we'll talk about all of those options as we go on here. A quarter of our plate is the grains. So you want to make half your grains whole grains. By that I mean brown rice, wheat bread, wheat pasta, even farro, quinoa. They're really great whole grain options. And then a quarter of our plate is the protein foods. So protein foods can be lean sources of protein. They are best. And that would be chicken, fish, turkey, even plant-based sources of proteins like beans and legumes, nuts and seeds. They have a good source of healthy fats, but are also a source of protein as well. Eggs are also great. And then some dairy products. I always kind of loop in the dairy with protein foods because some certain dairy products like a low-fat cheese or a Greek yogurt or cottage cheese can be a really great source of protein to mix in with your lunches and snacks as well. So that's the plate, and that's kind of going to be the basis of how we're setting up our meals. Before I get into each of the meals that I've set up, I want to talk about snacking. So I consider snacks as smart snacks. My clients will always hear me say that. So a lot of times when I say snacks, I hear my clients say, oh, I don't snack, or I try to avoid snacking. And the reason for that is they consider snacks pretzels, chips, cookies, cakes, right? So we want to think about snacks as those smart snacks, like I mentioned. Smart snacks are going to be whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and then you want to pair those things with a protein or a healthy fat. And that's going to really give you the energy that you need to keep going throughout the day. It's important to eat about every 3 to 5 hours. And that'll keep you going. It'll prevent that afternoon slump, and it'll also prevent you from being ravenous later on in the day when you get home after trying to restrict at work, and then you get home for dinner and you just eat more than you should. So that's also really important for kids too, so that they're not going home and snacking on things like Oreos or chips or pretzels. You want to keep them full throughout the day. So I'll get into each of our meal and snack options here, just to give you some ideas of how you want to break it down. So the first one here I have is what I call more of a snacky lunch, and I think this is really easy because you can kind of just throw things together that you might have in your fridge, and you don't have to be making a sandwich. Some people don't like sandwiches, or they might get soggy in your lunch, so this is a good option for that type of person. So here I have Triscuit crackers, and I like these because they are high in fiber. So fiber keeps you full throughout the day. We want to look for options with about 3 to 5 grams of fiber or more per serving. If you look on the nutrition facts label, that's where you can find that. I paired that with hummus, okay? So this hummus cup is great because it's really easy to pack in lunch and you don't have to do anything extra. And then a source of vegetable is our carrots, grapes for our fruit, and then a low-fat cheese stick. This is a low-fat, low-sodium mozzarella cheese. Again, a good source of protein. So the hummus and the cheese are your protein to get you through. Next, that's gonna fall there. Next is, I did a wrap, okay? So this is a whole grain wrap with some non-starchy vegetables. Again, I make it really colorful with some sliced peppers, cucumbers, and then I threw in some grilled chicken and low-fat cheese. We paired it with a piece of fruit, which is a plum, and a little sweet treat, but it also adds some crunch. Crunch is really satiating for us, so it is helpful to have some crunch in your diet or in your meals. So this is just cocoa-coated almonds, really low in added sugar, gives you that sweet kick and that added crunch, like I said.
So Sarah, question for you. You said low starch vegetable. What are low starch vegetables?
Yes, so non-starchy vegetables are pretty much anything but potatoes, peas, corn, and winter squash. So your butternut or acorn squash varieties. So I always group in the starchy vegetables, the ones that I just mentioned that are potatoes and things, into our grains or starchy foods category because they give us that hit of carbohydrate that we need to provide us energy. We don't want to be afraid of carbohydrates. We just want to incorporate them into our diet in balance and moderation. The non-starchy vegetables are pretty much anything else, and they fill us up for a lot of volume, like I was mentioning on the plate. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we will go to this meal is a rice bowl, and this is one of my favorites because this is something that you can prepare at the beginning of the week. It's easy, it stays in the fridge, and you can also vary the flavors that are in it. So here I just did a quick minute rice and quinoa, so that's a really easy solution for people who don't have much time to meal prep as well. I did canned chickpeas. The key is to rinse the sodium and choose low sodium varieties. So when you rinse the juice that it's in before you put it in, it reduces the sodium content, and then it makes it easy. You don't have to be cooking dried beans. And then as you can see, again, we're using color and we're using the chopped peppers and cucumbers. So that is a really good option. You can do like balsamic vinegar, Italian dressing. You could even mix in some guacamole for some added flavor. So you can make it however you want. Hot sauce. So this is a really versatile lunch, and it's good, especially for adults, to throw together for their work week lunch. And then we paired it with a piece of fruit, an orange. Here is just a classic sandwich, but we made it really colorful. I like to limit lunch meats or deli meats. That's tied to an increased risk of chronic disease. So we don't want to be eating too many deli meats. So instead what I did is similar to here, I added grilled chicken. And that's something that you can think about when you're preparing dinner for the week. Why don't I throw on a few extra chicken breasts on the grill or in the oven, and I can use them with my lunch throughout the week. So here we did the grilled chicken, and then tomato and spinach. Tomato and spinach really add color, add fiber, okay? And then you can add whatever type of flavoring you want on it, whether it's hummus or guacamole or some mustard. And then we paired some apple slices, which are really easy to throw in there, and some baby carrots. Here's one of my favorites to talk about, and this is the salad. So I hear all the time, I'm eating a salad for lunch. Why aren't I losing weight? Why am I eating too much at night? And that's because I hear that the salads contain just vegetables, right? And that's what we think of a lot of times when we have a salad. So instead, we want to think about the plate, right? And still incorporating the proteins, the grains, a variety of colors and vegetables into our salads so that we are full and satisfied. So what I do here with the salads is I put in some sunflower seeds, which are a really great source of fat and protein. And I put in some chickpeas and some tomatoes and cucumbers. And I will put this on, or in the fridge. I'll wrap it up and put it in the fridge for the week. So I might make 4 or 5 of these. And I don't add the lettuce yet. And then what I do when it's time that morning or the night before, I will add the spinach on top of that salad, prepped salad, so that the spinach still stays fresh. Because if you're packing spinach or other lettuces throughout the week, the spinach is gonna get soggy. So the key is to add your toppings first, and then later on when you're ready to go, just throw the salad on top. Next is another snacky type lunch, just a couple hard-boiled eggs, which are also easy to prep in advance. You can also buy them pre-hard-boiled at the grocery store if you're really short on time. I paired it with 2 choices of vegetables, and then some whole grain crackers, again the Triscuits, and some peanut butter to dip in. And then if you really need a little something extra too, you could do a low-fat Greek yogurt. This is a low sugar option, less sugar added. It still tastes great. It's a flavored yogurt. There's no need for you to be completely sugar-free with your yogurt. You can have a little extra sugar. Food should still taste good and be satisfying. So this is a good option. Again, additional protein there as well. And here we have a good fun lunch for kids, right? We cut a peanut butter sandwich into the shape of a flower. So again, making things fun for kids for school. If there are allergies in school or your school is a peanut-free lunchroom, you can always do a sunflower butter or a soy nut butter, one of those types of options. And then we have 3 vegetable varieties. One way to get kids interested in having a balanced plate is to incorporate a variety of these vegetables and maybe take them food shopping, maybe lay out, if they don't like all of these vegetables, lay these out the night before and say, you need to pick this part of your lunch, which one would you like? So they feel like they have autonomy over the situation and they're more likely to eat it. And then we paired it with a Greek yogurt-based ranch dip. So that'll be lower in fat, in the saturated bad fats. We call them bad, right? Because they increase our cholesterol or increase risk of heart disease later on in life. So again, giving kids the options and getting them involved in your lunch is really key. And then just a quick and easy unsweetened applesauce, just plain applesauce is a good side for that. So those were all the lunches. When we talk about smart snacking, I put together a bunch of varieties. So I'll start over here. So this is peppers, right? Little baby bell peppers, which are great because they come and just as they are, and you don't even have to slice them. So just rinse them off, throw them in a bag. I have them in a reusable Ziploc bag, which is really helpful to prevent waste and have it available for you. And we pair that with hummus, okay? So that is high fiber. Again, we're using a lot of hummus and guacamole because they are easy, quick options to keep you full and satisfied. Here we did some celery and peanut butter. If you even want to get more creative, you could do ants on a log, where you add raisins on top for a little sweet extra flavor for the kids. This is a pack of trail mix. This is a quick, easy snack to have on the go. The key with nuts and trail mix is to monitor how much you have throughout the day. So we talk about nuts are really healthy for us. They're rich in a lot of vitamins and minerals, but you want to think about the portion size because they are very high in calories. So I typically say stick to about a quarter cup a day, and that's a good sufficient snack for you. If they're pre-packaged like this, it makes it even easier to maintain those portion sizes. I will get to the granola bars in a second. Here's just a fruit and peanut butter, right? I always say don't just have fruit by itself. It helps to manage your blood sugars and control your hunger and fullness cues when you pair that protein with it. So a quick, easy pack of peanut butter is really great to have, in your desk drawer or just throw in a kid's lunchbox. Here we have some guacamole and some pretzels. Again, that crunch, that satiating factor, and then guacamole that's easy to throw in there. Here we have granola bars, okay? So I like to compare these two. This is a Nature Valley and it says protein on it. So the key with granola bars is you want to find a granola bar that has both qualities, the carbohydrate quality and the protein quality, and of course high fiber, to be able to just grab it and not have to pair it with anything else like we're talking about with smart snacking. So this Nature Valley variety has more added sugars and it's mostly carbohydrate based. So having the added protein really helps with more nuts and seeds in this to keep you full and satisfied. If you had this one, I would probably say you might want to pair it with a cottage cheese or something on the side to get that protein in there. All right. This is another great Nature Valley option too, that has, it's just a packed sustained energy bar, quick couple bites so you don't have to spend a lot of time eating your snack. Again, a balance of carbs and protein. When you're looking at protein on these bars, you want to look for somewhere between 5 to 14 grams of protein per serving on the nutrition facts label. So that'll tell you that it's a good source of protein. And your protein needs each day really depend on your size, shape, activity level. So that all varies per person. So that's kind of how we want to set up our plates and our snacks. The last thing I'll touch on is hydration. So it's really important to hydrate throughout the day. I love having one of these big bottles where it has the ounces listed so you know exactly what you're getting. It's also easy when it has a straw. So we tend to drink more, believe it or not, when we have a straw because it's more accessible for us. And you also tend to take bigger gulps. So having a straw does help get that water in. It also prevents you from feeling like you're hungry all the time. Sometimes when we're hungry, we think we're hungry, we're really just dehydrated. So it's important to keep that up. I even put on here time limits or time frames, right? So by 8 a.m. I want to get down to this 40-ounce limit. By 10 a.m. I want to get down to 32. So it gives you goals to remind yourself to drink throughout the day. So that's really helpful. I even threw some lime in there. And that is, if you're really against plain water, some fresh fruit, even frozen fruit can be good to add some additional flavor to get you to drink some more. This is also a good option for soda lovers. If you're trying to get off of the soda train, you can always come and do a sparkling water with naturally added or natural flavors, right? So this has no added sugar, no calories. You have to be careful with the sparkling waters because some of them do have added sugars. So check it out and look for that natural flavoring in those. Both count as hydration, right? The key is to ensure that your urine is a pale yellow color. That shows that you're hydrated. So that is all of that. My other tips for meal planning, right, throughout the week, you can save a lot of time by just sitting down and writing a grocery list at the beginning of the week, or even using a calendar and just saying what you want for lunch each day. If you notice too, I use a lot of the same vegetables and fruits over and over again. I recommend doing that to save time and money, okay? So each week, pick a few vegetable staples or a few fruit staples so that you use them up and they don't go to waste. And then you can use them in a variety of ways. Then the next week, pick a new variety of fruits and vegetables to use so that you're not, having an overabundance and you don't know what to do with them all. The other thing is prepping when you have time. So if you get home from the store and you have time to cut up your vegetables, do it then and then put them away. That can save you a lot of time on the back end, and even having everything out at one time and throwing all the meals together for the week can save you more time than you realize. So that's pretty much everything I had for today.
So we do have a few questions that were submitted in advance and lots of great information. So thank you. And you've touched on a number of these. Good sources of protein. We heard you talk about nuts. What are some of those other good sources of protein?
Yeah. So nuts, seeds, different beans. There's a huge variety of beans that you can choose from. So pick what you like, and you can flavor them really easily too with a lot of different seasonings. Chicken, fish, eggs, like I mentioned, and then those dairy products, those low-fat dairy products are really great sources.
Well, sometimes you hear eggs are bad for you and people are avoiding eggs. So eggs are okay in moderation?
Eggs are perfectly fine in moderation. I always say that everything is fine in moderation. There are no good and bad foods, right? In order to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and I always talk to my clients about this being a lifestyle, right? It's not a diet, it's just what you typically eat from day to day. You should be able to incorporate those fun foods in moderation as well. So eggs are perfectly fine. They're not something to be afraid of, and you can eat the whole egg. The yolk actually has the majority of the nutrients and a majority of the protein, so you really don't want to miss out on that yolk.
Awesome. Now, somebody submitted a question about keto. They're doing keto and they want lunch options. What are your thoughts? Is keto the best way to eat? There's a lot of carbs in here, right? There's carbs here. There's carbs on the plate.
Right. So keto, that's a loaded question. So nutrition is very individualized. So I wouldn't make a single recommendation for any one person right off of a Facebook question. However, just to know that keto was made for people with epilepsy. So it really alters the way the neurotransmitters are firing in our brain in order to reduce that seizure activity. So when we incorporate a variety of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, that's really the way to go for most people. That's most sustainable. Again, we don't want to be afraid of carbohydrates. They provide us with really good nutrients that we need in our diet. Again, just in moderation, keep them to be about a quarter of the plate. Have them, I always say, about the size of your fist is a good example of how to do like a rice or a pasta.
Awesome. When is a good time for somebody to see a nutritionist?
So anytime. So I have a variety of clients, people who are looking to lose weight, people who might have diabetes, people who just want some tips on meal prep and meal planning, kids, especially high school students that are athletes and aren't really sure how to fuel properly before sports practices and things. They see a lot of benefit in coming to see me as well. So really anyone, if you're looking for any sort of variety of nutrition tips, it can be beneficial to come.
And how does somebody make an appointment to come see you?
So I'm located at Springfield Hospital. They can call our scheduling number. A lot of people who have providers within the system can get referred, but I still recommend calling that scheduling number. And that number is 610-328-8920. And somebody can get you scheduled and set you up with an appointment.
And we'll go ahead and put that number in the comments below so everybody has easy access. You can always find more information on our website at crozierhealth.org. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today. This was super helpful, and I think I need to do an overhaul of my lunches that I'm packing. So hopefully all of our viewers will be doing the same and are calling to get additional tips. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you.